Today you will focus on solving multi-step equations. I am going to split this 3.3 solving multi-step equations into two parts, and I'm going to record this into two segments of the video. So let's focus on question number 5. Once again, if you look at it, you got 11w minus 9 minus 7w equals 15. So when they are asking you to solve an equation, they are asking you to isolate what w is. They just want to find something like w equals an answer. So if you look at this side, this is the enemy side. And if you look at the enemy side, you need to find what w is. So you need to get the W to safety. And if you look on the enemy camp, you got 11 W's carried on one side and negative 7 W's carried on one side. So let's bring all of them together. So 11 W combined with the negative 7 W gives me 4 W. Bring the minus 9 as it is. And make sure that you have the equal sign and the 15. Now you are looking at a two-step equation. So you need to isolate what W is. You need to get W to safety. And if you look at the W, it is being so closely watched by the 4. So let's come to it last. So let's get rid of this 9 negatives. So let's go in with a positive 9 on this side and a positive 9 on this side. Once again, watch me. This is still the enemy camp. So negative 9, positive 9 cancels out. So you are left with 4W equals 15 plus 9 gives you 24. Remember, you need to get the W to safety. So look at the 4 and the W. There is nothing in between, which means 4 is multiplying W. Since 4 is multiplying, the opposite of multiplying by 4 will be to divide by 4. Remember, this is a division symbol. So you divide by 4 on this side and do the same thing on the other side. 4 divided by 4 gives you a 1. 1 times W just gives you a W. 24 divided by 4 gives you a 6, and this is what you need. Let's focus on question number 8. Now 9 equals 7z minus 13z minus 21. So if you look at this, this becomes the enemy side because z is on the enemy camp and you need to get the z to safety. So now if you look on the enemy side, you got a 7z on one side of the camp and negative 13z on one side of the camp. So let's combine them together, bring them all close together, all to one spot. So it is easy to save them. So 7z combines with a negative 13z. See the word I'm using, combines with a negative 13z. Positive 7, negative 13 combines to give you negative 6. And the z tags along. Minus 21 equals 9 on this side. Now remember, this is still the enemy side. You need to get the z to safety. Now remember, z is so closely watched by negative 6. So let's get rid of this 21 negatives. So 21 negatives, let's go to the enemy side with positive 21 on this side and positive 21 on this side. Negative 21, positive 21 cancels out to end up in giving just negative 6z. 9 plus 21 gives you a 30. Now remember, you need to get your z to safety. There is no sign between the number and the variable, which means z is multiplied by negative 6. The opposite of multiplying by negative 6, you divide by negative 6 on this side and this side. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 gives you a 1. Any number divided by itself gives you a 1. 1 times z is z. 30 divided by negative 6, use your calculator to check and see that you are getting negative 5. Now look at question number 17. Now if you look at this, all the variables on this side of the equal side is on the right side, which means this becomes your enemy side where you're trying to get the y to safety. So if you look on the enemy side, you got 12y, and now not only that, you also have a distributive property. So please make sure that you put a box around the distributive property with this sign. So distributive property is something you need to recognize. It does come with a practice, so please make sure that you do what I'm doing. Negative 5 on the outside multiplies 2y to give you negative 10y. Negative 5 on the outside multiplies negative 7 on the inside to give you positive 35. And on the left side, you have negative 3. So now you have on the enemy, you got 12y minus 10y. 12y combines with negative. Once again, what's the word I'm using? I'm using combining. 12y combines with negative 10y to give you 2y. Positive 10, positive 12, negative 10 combines to give you 2. Y tags along. Plus 35 equals negative 3. You need to get the y to safety. Y is so closely watched by the 2. So let's get rid of this positive 35. So let's go in with a negative 35 to get rid of that. Make sure that you have the line. This is your two-step equation step. This one is your distributive property. And this one is combining your like terms. So 2y plus 35 minus 35, positive 35, negative 35 cancels out to give you a 0. I am not going to put the 0, I'm just going to cancel them out. So to get 2y equals negative 3 combines with negative 35 to give you negative 38. So 3 negatives and 35 negatives combines to give you 38 negatives. 2 and y, there is no sign in between, so that means it's multiplying. The opposite of multiplying by 2 will be to divide by 2 on this side and by 2 on this side. 2 divided by 2 gives you a 1. 1 times y is y. Negative 38 divided by 2 gives you negative 19. Let's focus on question number 20. 3 over 2 times x minus 5 equals negative 6. You got an option. If it is a fraction that you can change it to a decimal in a neat and nice way, you can. So 3 divided by 2 gives you 1.5. This, I would prefer that you change it to a decimal. This, I would not prefer that you change it to a decimal. Keep it as a fraction. So you got x minus 5 equals negative 6. So you got two options. You can do the distributive property, which is what I have seen students do in the past. They say the distributive property, they start right away. If you want to do that, yes, you can go ahead and do it. So 1.5 times x gives you 1.5x. 1.5 times negative 5 gives you negative 5 times 5 is 25, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 equals negative 6. And remember, you need to get the x alone. So that means x is being so watched closely by 1.5. We'll come to it last. So negative 7.5. Let's go in with a positive 7.5 on this side and a positive 7.5 on this side. Negative 7.5, positive 7.5 cancels out to give you 1.5x equals negative 6 combines with 7.5 to give you positive 1.5. Now remember, you need to get the x to safety. X is being multiplied by 1.5. If you see, there is no operation sign in between. So 1.5 multiplies x. The opposite will be divide by 1.5 on this side and divide by 1.5 on this side. 1.5 divided by 1.5 gives you a 1. 1 times x gives you an x. 1.5 divided by 1.5 gives you a 1, which is the final answer. Now make sure that you guys do this question for practice. We will check the answers together in the class. Negative 1 equals 6w plus 5 minus 3w. Please make sure that you are solving for w, such in this case you are finding what w is. At this point, I'm going to pause the video, stop the recording, and I will continue the questions on in the second part of the same 3.3 solve multi-step equations.